You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Of the net.
You're watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Right, Chris.
All right there. All right, they're back. Good evening, one and all. It is Leicester Till I Die, and you are watching me. Well, you haven't got any choice if you're watching, have you, really? Because there's only me on the screen at the moment. How are you feeling after the weekend? You've got to be feeling good, surely. Let's start with a little reading. And I think it's only right. I think, after the weekend we've had. Let's start with a few words from the good book. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here this evening. Now, did you know, because I write this, if you've got this, it's in the Leicester shop, Leicester City, on this day. And on the 19th of October, 1998, was the night when, and it was an emotional night, apparently, at Filbert Street, as Leicester City fans implored boss Martin O'Neill to stay during the 2-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur. And they held up the posters saying, "Don't go, Martin," after Leeds United made their interest public in Leicester City manager Martin O'Neill. Who remembers that, eh? Wow. Anyway, how the devil are you all? Welcome along to the show, and this is where you can find us.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
1998, Dean? Do you remember that with all the posters?
A long while ago. I do remember it very well. The heady day. I was there at the Sheffield United game when Martin was booed out the place as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank God for once.
I knew we were going to be in trouble that day because we had Simon Grayson as a midfield playmaker.
Bless him. If only we knew what was going to happen in years to come. But it goes back a bit. Nothing changes. Players and managers are still, should we say, wanted by other clubs. Newcastle, we had felt great for Newcastle for a couple of days. They took over, they had this big takeover. And then 2 days later, we hated them again because they were being linked with our manager and every other player.
But you know what staggers me more than anything, Chris, with modern football is you talk managers' compensation fees for these clubs. And they're talking about, 16 million was mentioned for Rodgers if Newcastle wanted him, like it was off the Richter. And you're signing average Premier League players for way more than 20 million. And you're talking about a manager that will set the tone for your football club and how outrageous it is that somebody wants 16 million for him. And I just don't get it. I don't get it.
No. Good evening to Nippon. How the devil are you? Thanks for popping on, sir. I think the same as if you look at when we went for Rodgers from Celtic, I think what we paid them in compensation is less than we would have paid had we bought Eduardo.
Yes.
Or
it's
Edward
madness.
even. And it's changing him completely by adding an L on the end. But it was. Sometimes they say some things don't change at all, But I've got to say before we get into the talk, because we are here to talk about the Europa League this week. But I just want to. We talked about this before, but I just want to bring this up. If you haven't already, get over to the BBC website, the Leicester City homepage on the BBC, which is bbc.co.uk/sports /football/teams/Leicester City. If I had that many slashes in that short a time, I'd need a nappy, I'll tell you. But it's the Leicester City homepage on the BBC. And every Tuesday, as I've been saying, I will have a little blog on there. And today it's all about Brendan Rodgers. And maybe I just might mention a certain 4-2 win as well. Who knows?
And the 80 million. Don't forget the 80 million.
Oh, and the 80 million. I was saying to you before, I was on Sunday night, I was on a podcast for a Man United fan, and he very bravely had me on. And it was like me, and on screen there was 3 other Man United fans, and obviously all the chat was Man United fans. And I think I managed to piss every single one of them off with what I was saying. They're very defensive fans, I've got to be honest with you.
A good reason to be at the minute.
Yes, yeah. First of all, before we get into talking about the game, what a good time to get a performance and a win like that.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's always a good time, obviously, but we
never a bad time. But it was
a
a superb performance, chalk and cheese from what we've seen so far this season. I think we've performed in games in part, but to put the 90 minutes together and dominate possession the way we did. As I said to you earlier, they were lucky to get out of there with a 4-2 loss, I felt.
Yes. Yeah. It was just, that was the performance that we've been waiting for. Like you said, it was the performances that we were putting in last year. Passes were finding people. Shots at goal were on target rather than rose-ed.
Yeah, we're a tempo team, aren't we, Chris? When we play at a tempo, we're all on the same page. We are one hell of a side.
Yes.
Match for anybody, I feel.
Yes, yeah.
But it's when I'm like you, probably, when they play this slow, ponderous stuff across the back line and back to Casper and side-to-side football, it's very one-dimensional and easy. The team set traps on us, and that's what they've been doing.
And I think with that, I mean, Brendan came out and said he thought he'd go back to playing high tempo, and thinking, well, why did you stop?
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems ludicrous that if you know that this works, and you know that Vardy and Inacho as a 2 up front work very well for us as a team, why haven't you? Why did you stop doing it?
Yeah, it's like pressing the reset button, wasn't it? Almost.
Yes, yeah, turning us off and turning us back on again.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I tell you what, that performance turned me on. But maybe I need to get out more. But it's the Europa League, and we're going to be talking about the away trip to Spartak Moscow straight after that.
Europa League with Chris on Leicester Till I Die TV. Please press those buttons on YouTube for more Leicester City content.
Our first trip to Russia as a club.
Indeed, yes. Interesting.
Yes, I mean, there's not many have gone over, but let's hope we count them all out and we count them all back in again.
Yeah, let's hope it's back.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been an odd group so far, I think, to say the least. For some reason, we're looking at, it's in Spartak, we say it's in Moscow, as we know, at the Stadion Spartak in Moscow. It's a 3:30 kickoff time. as indeed was Celtic today. But I think that's because I'm guessing Lokomotiv Moscow have got a game the same day, possibly. But there's a lot of people not going to be able to watch that.
Oh, there'll be a lot of tummy upsets tomorrow, sort of about 12ish, I fancy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, I'm going to have to go home, boss.
Yeah, a lot of annual leave being taken, probably.
Yes. Well, the problem is, what if you're a boss? You can't.
Oh, well.
Sorry, guys, carry on working. I'm off. I've had one of those bosses in the past, the bastard. But I mean, if we have a look at this is how it stands at the moment. You almost want to say that the table's upside down.
Well, I did think that earlier when I looked at it, Chris. I thought, what odds would you get on, the table looking like that after 2 rounds? It's just, it's been a strange campaign so far.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, obviously, last time out, Moscow beat Napoli, so that shows that they're not. I mean, having said that, we were 2-0 up and probably should have held on for the win ourselves. But,
I just hope we don't rue that losing that 2-goal lead in the first game, because we were bossing that game. I know the lad up front for Napoli was a handful, but we got that in the bag against what we all thought were going to be our most dangerous opponents in that group.
I mean, to be 2-0 up when we were, you're thinking, wow, here we go again. But
it was typical of our season, isn't it? Where we've done it in patches, but not seen it through the full 90.
Yes.
Where we've let it go.
That first 45 to me was, like you say, the Man United, and I'm just wondering if the Leicester post Man United will make those same mistakes.
Yeah, well, we'll find out tomorrow, I guess, won't we?
Well, that is very true. Was it like saying the obvious? And thank you for that. But do you think Spartak Moscow? I mean, I first looked at it and thought, they've done us a favour in beating Napoli.
But the results, you just can't pick a winner at the minute, it seems. I mean, I didn't think much of Warsaw, to be honest, but I thought less of us on the night.
Yes.
It's almost like we never showed up. And I feel it's a must-win game tomorrow, not just because of the situation in the Europa League, but to back up the Man U performance and win. Yes. We need to follow that up. I don't quite get, for me, and I know the argument, why we work so hard to get into the Europa League, wanted the Champions League, you end up in the Europa League, you get there, and then you make so many wholesale changes that it's hard to put a performance together. And it'll be interesting tomorrow what team he picks, because I do feel on the back of the Man U that I think if we show up, we win tomorrow. I'm that confident.
Yeah, but I think he's got to. I don't think he's got to make many changes.
I agree.
Think maybe save the same changes for Brentford, because there are going to be certain players. Johnny Evans, we know for one, that won't be able to play 3 games in a go.
Absolutely.
I keep wanting to say Vardy's getting older and he can't, but he keeps defying us all, so he probably can. But you are going to get those little knocks and what have you. So I think I've always been a fan of if it's not broken, why mend it sort of thing. But
and these lads will want to play, won't they? On the back of that performance, they'll all be itching to play.
Yes, so this is it as well. Good evening to Terry. How the devil are you, sir? Get my mouse to work. There we go. Terry Fuller of Sky here. Don't talk about Sky. It's on BT, by the way. It's on BT, not Sky. So yeah, I agree with you totally on that one in regard to the changes. But the worrying thing is, in the last. When we were in the Champions League, and everybody, I always wind, other teams up. We were the last team that was, last British team in the Champions League that season. Arsene Wenger said we were going to embarrass Europe, and he got beaten.
Remember it well.
8 or 10-2 over 2 legs. But we had, let's be honest with you, we had an easiest group. You still got to beat who's out there, but. We could have, if we'd have picked it ourselves, we couldn't have done better.
True.
And same last year in the Europa League.
Yeah.
It wasn't a difficult group. West Ham have got that this year, and they will admit that they've got, a very, very easy group, and it's one that they could have picked. Some people call this the group of death.
I wouldn't call it the group of death myself. Napoli, yes, obviously a quality side, proven as well. I suppose you could argue Spartak to a degree. Warsaw. I mean, all these teams are beatable. We've proven that by getting a 2-goal lead on Napoli, but then let it slip. We never showed up against Warsaw. You know, and these games pass you by. You don't get 2 bites of the cherry. You've got to seize that moment, get the points in the bag. Warsaw, for me, I would have started a strong team and then brought the lads on, you know, the reserves on, if you like, the subs. But to me, you always start strong. And I felt too many changes in that game. We never got a rhythm. We never got going. We allowed them into the game. And then the crowd become a factor. And suddenly you're up against it. And that's how I felt that game played out.
And I agree with you. You know, if you're going to give, let's say, Evans 45 minutes because of his injury, you give him the first 45.
I think so.
It's easier to hold on to a lead with your best players and then take your best players off, and it is to have to bring your best players on to try and get that lead.
Turn it round. No, I quite agree.
That's probably what he did against Warsaw.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think maybe he's learned a bit of a lesson from that as well. You know, and I do think there will be a few changes tomorrow, but I don't think they need to be wholesale changes. Quite what he goes with, I'm not quite sure. You never know. I mean, I look at the bench against Man U, and we've got some quality on the bench now. You know, look, Barnes, neither got a look in. And when you think of the lads we've got to come back from injury as well, we've got a really decent squad now. And if we can still be in that Europa League come the new year, with those lads coming back from injury and the strength we've now got in depth, I don't see why we can't go far in the competition. We've just got to get the points on the board. I'm
going to ask you this then, because this is what I've been saying a lot to Man United fans at the start of the season and after the game, that you just mentioned the squad that we've got, and we've been saying for a few years we haven't got the depth in squad, and when we tried to expand the squad after the Champions League, we probably didn't buy the best players. It's since come out, and I've been told that Steve Walsh, as in not the player, the coach, didn't want Slimani, and he advised the club against buying Slimani, and they still did. But what we've gone and bought now look like good purchases. I don't think at the moment we've got a bad purchase. Gazelle's gone. All those players that you can say were a bit iffy, Kaputska, none of them are there. And I said, this is the season, because Ollie's got the squad now, that if he doesn't get something, then that's going to be out. He's going to have to go. Now, I'm not saying Brendan's going to have to go, because we have different expectations to Man United. Yes. But there's no excuses this season, is there?
Well, I think that is a reasonable statement to make. We are relatively new to this top end of the table malarkey, aren't we? And the pressures that come with it, and the expectation of the fans rise, and everything that comes with it. Pressure from the press, pressure from the media, and there is a different mentality involved at that top end of the table, and it's still fairly new to us. And I think Brendan realises that, and probably why you get some of the inconsistencies you get. And we are a relatively young side, but we're a progressive side with a progressive manager. Everything points up. So I think we've just got to take a little bit of the rough with the smooth. But I think the future is very bright for us. We proved that last season winning the FA Cup, went so close for the second year running top 4. We just need, and who'd have thought that in our lifetime we'd be talking in this way. So I think we have to be careful
that pinching ourselves doesn't turn into self-abuse. Right.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But fans are fans, they want the very best, they expect the best, demand the best. And they've got every right, to voice their disquiet if they're not happy. But I do think it's the best time ever, and I'm 57 in my life, to be a Leicester City supporter.
You're a spring chicken compared to me, sir. So.
Well, there you go. I had a small paper round as a child.
Yeah, but didn't we all? But as you're quite right. You dream about these times, but then we're football fans, we're fickle, and the better you do, the more you want. Andrew says there he's certainly going to stack up some air miles in this group. Certainly are. He would go Nacho and Dakin. We'll come on to that in a bit up front. and Daka proved, I mean, it wasn't the most spectacular goal Daka scored, but it had to be put in,
I think that's a good shout. I think Nacho and Daka have shown quite a good understanding, and why not harness that and go with that? Daka must be itching to play and start as well. Yes. Nacho's on fire, and it's a chance to maybe impact Vardy if you need to, but you've got to manage Vardy now. He's 34. He keeps surprising all of us, doesn't he?
Yes.
But you've got to manage him. You have got to manage him to keep him at peak level performance. So I go with Nacho and Daka.
Yeah. Talking about being on fire, hello to Maisie from Devils United. She likes to set fire to garlic bread. That's another story. She's also a Man United fan, and I think she's come on tonight because I think she feels safe that we're not going to mention 4-2.
Oh, she's brave. Bless her. She's brave. Oh, and thanks for the 80 million, by the way.
Yeah, indeed. Pay for the training ground. Hey, if you do like football, she obviously does Man United shows, but she does a lot of general football shows. She's done a couple of recently about who the best manager ever has been. Get on over to Devils United TV on YouTube and give Maisie some support there. She's a great gal and does a lot with our own channel here.
Hello, Maisie.
Talking of, because we're going to have a look at Moscow now, not as in a tourist way, but I should just say before we start that if you actually go on to our website, leicestertillidie.com, there's another slash there, Moscow, Russian football specialist, and you're going to laugh now because I'm like, I can't pronounce anything if it's not Smith and Jones, but Russian football specialist Toki Thilade. Give me a 10 out of 10 for effort.
Yeah, that was decent, that.
Editor-in-chief at www.vilfortpark.dk, which is a big Russian website, takes a closer look at the Muscovite outfit and gives you the lowdown on our upcoming opponent. So it's really good. It's a really in-depth session that he's done on that page for us. And I say he's the founder and editor-in-chief there at vilfortpark.dk. A lot of information. And the last bit that he does, and let me just get rid of that so we can see Dean's beautiful face again. There we go. The last bit that he did on that is what can Leicester expect from the Russians? And when I actually Googled images for Spartak Moscow, that picture of a guy holding a gun with the flag came up for the Moscow Ultras. I mean, we have European football. We put a flag out with a fog on, with a fox on. They put a flag out with a guy holding a gun.
Well, there you go, and it'll be bloody cold as well, I'm sure.
Well, it will be. Yes, yeah. Don't pee in the streets. You'll have to snap it off. But if there's trouble there, that we're going to get the blame anyway, don't you? So,
well, I did read earlier, I don't know how true this is, that we've sold 25 tickets.
In fairness, though, let's be honest with you. As European tours go,
oh yeah,
Moscow in October is not probably one that you would choose.
That's called the short one.
Yeah. Maisie, you're quite right. I am the best. It's just something that I've got to bear. It's a cross I have to bear. It's not the one. It's not the one you would choose to go to. And I think as well, would I want to take my son to that game if I'd got a young son? Exactly.
No.
I
praise the 25 that are going. Take my hat off to them. I really do. That's what you call hardcore.
It is because well, look what happened in games recently, in England I didn't know Hungary fans were that bad, but there we go.
Well,
so
I think Russia is just bad.
Are they to be feared? Let's ask you that question. Are they to be feared?
What a question. They're 7th in their league at the moment. I can tell you that. They've got a total, they're 7th, as I say. They're only 6 points off top, but 7th they lie. Played 11. Is that what you're looking at there? Played 11.
I'm trying to get it up. It's one of these. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. There it is for all to see. 1-5, drawn 2, lost 4. So their season is a little bit like ours, I feel. I mean, they are the record holder in terms of titles won in Russia, which stands at 22. But but they sit down in 7th. So I think, like us, they've had a bit of a mixed start, which is reflected in their Europa League campaign so far. I mean, losing to Warsaw, you wouldn't have predicted at home. You certainly wouldn't have predicted them beating Napoli away. And they drew 2-2, I think, at the weekend with 2 very late goals to pull them back from the brink. So again, very in and out. So yes, a dangerous opponent, but so are we. As I say, I feel if we go there with our A game, I think we'll beat them.
I do think there's going to be goals, though. I mean, we haven't kept a clean sheet all season.
Yeah.
And looking at it, Moscow probably have only kept 1, if not 2, because they've scored 13, but they've conceded 10. So they're not, good at keeping clean sheets either. So
That's right.
There's going to be goals, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think absolutely. And the thing about these European games, as you probably noticed more in the Warsaw game, is how much of an effect the crowd can have.
Oh, God, yes.
On the game. I mean, the Warsaw, the atmosphere was incredible. And it does come to bear. But from what I understand, it's got a 45,000 capacity ground, but we don't know with the COVID rules how many, if any, will be let in. As I say, the information has come late with the Leicester fans, which is why I think the uptake is only 25, because there was all this uncertainty about whether you were even going to be allowed to travel.
Yes.
So I don't know whether there's going to be a crowd in there or not, trying to influence proceedings. At this stage, I can't find out whether, with the COVID regs protocols in place, what will happen as regards to that. So it could be a great atmosphere. It could be very eerie.
I'm being probably totally unfair to these people, but it is going to be a fiery atmosphere, as you say. And I'm kind of looking at the officials for the game, and it's the VAR officials are also Greek. It doesn't fill me with confidence, and I might be being totally unfair and looking and going, "Oh, Greek officials," but it doesn't fill me with total confidence that they're going to put a firm stamp on the game.
What was his name again, Chris?
Oh, hang on 1 second. 1 second. It's him there.
Yeah, that one at the top.
Yeah, one at the top. That's it. Hey, if I say the first one, you can say the other 3.
He could never be a player, could he? Not with that long a name on his back.
I tell you what, they'd make a fortune in shirt sales, wouldn't they? But yeah, and I'll say I'm probably being totally unfair, but I think we are going to need him to be strong.
But there's a difference again, isn't there, with the European to the Premier League, the way these games are refereed, it's a completely different game altogether.
Yes.
There is a change in mindset that has to be for these games.
Yeah. Now, are you ready for the joke of the day here?
Go on then.
Because Andrew says it's 3 degrees in Moscow. When will I see you again?
Oh, dear. God.
When will I see you again? I don't know what was worse there, the singing or the joke.
Shall we carry on?
I thought they'd retired. well, it's a bit like getting Madonna on the Eurovision Song Contest when it gets 3 degrees halftime entertainment in the match. Sorry, you know me. It was an open net. I had to go for it. And I kind of just say, Terry's not an awful lot better. So the Russians are not understand it when we say the UK have fired a manager. They put them up against the wall and shoot.
Well, they're poisoning them these days, don't they?
Yes, yeah. Well, coming up later, we've got a special section, and we're going to look at the top 10 facts about diarrhea. Yeah, I've got to be honest with you. Number 2 will surprise you.
Really?
Number 2, sorry. That was shit, wasn't it?
Oh, me along.
Quickly moving on. We're losing viewers. Recent form. Moscow a little bit more in form than we are, but I think what is important is, I mean, they've won 3, drawn 1, but they've lost their last one. We've won our last one, and it does make a difference, I think, doesn't it?
Bit of momentum, yeah. For us, I mean, it was so long overdue, that performance. I've been crying out for it from the start of the season. And to do it against a supposed top 4 rival and put a marker down. I
Mm.
think, as I say, in certain players not being involved, be it tactical, I suppose it was with Barnes and a lot of people wanted Lookman to play, but credit to Brendan, he put a team out there to do a job, and it certainly did that and more.
Do you think
So,
with
yeah.
Lookman, and I want to get excited by him, but I'm a bit worried after I got excited about Under that he had a couple of good games and then disappeared for the rest of the season. But Lookman seems to have played better when he's come on as a sub than when he started. Or is that, do you think, just sort of an indictment of how the team is playing at the moment?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it really is. The lad, if I remember rightly, started against Burnley and was our top player. If you remember, that's when Brendan was booed when he made the substitution.
Yes.
So I think I like Lookman. I do. He's young.
Yeah.
He's young. Any player that gets you off your seat because he's prepared to run at somebody these days, team set up, banks of 4, and they're hard to break down. There's a lot of sideways stuff. You need somebody with the ability to go past somebody to break up that bank. And he's that player for me.
Yes.
Do like him.
Andrew, yes, I don't have a day job, which is why I do this at the moment. So I have to rely on making money from my jokes.
Yeah, he's not a comedian, no, he's either.
No. I'm off to have the food bank later. Lookman, do you think, had we not had to go out and buy Vestergaard, and let's be honest with you, I think had Fofana not got injured, I don't think we would have done. Because I think Fofana would have been the cover until Evans, had come back from his injury. But having to find that 15 million for Vestergaard, which we probably, I don't think necessarily had, if that not happened, do you think we would have bought Lookman rather than loan him?
I don't even know whether they would have bought Lookman, because they've managed to get him on loan. They maybe would have gone out and spent that money they spent on Vestergaard towards a winger. Who knows? Yes. All I can say is I'm happy with Lookman. He's on a loan, I think, with a view to buy. And he's doing nothing to dissuade me at the moment from buying the lad. No.
Terry says there, Lookman comes on with fresh legs, so looks even quicker than normal compared with flagging players. I still like him. Probably, and this is what I see Vardy eventually doing.
Yeah,
Impact.
Can't
play 90 minutes, coming on as that impact sub, indeed. Yeah. There's a poll going on at the moment on UEFA.com on the Spartak Leicester page. 27% of people think Spartak Moscow are going to win. 5% think it's a draw, and 68% think Leicester. That could be me because I'm going on and off it all day, clicking on Leicester. But I guess do we go in as favourites, do you think?
Oh, it's a difficult one. The Europa League's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? And we've not hit the ground running in that, but then neither have they. I think it's all up for grabs tomorrow. But as I said to you earlier, I think if we come with our A game and a strong team on the park, I think we win. It's as simple as that. What you've got to be aware of course, is the skullduggery that goes on in these Europa games. They're hitting the deck at the most minuscule touch, and a weak referee and a big crowd, and gives you a silly penalty, and suddenly you're 1-0 down and your back's up against it. That's always the danger in these games.
We've been there, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. That's right. But I just feel if we can dominate possession at pace, not this slow, ponderous stuff, and get at them, I think there's goals to be had. As proven by their league record. They don't keep a clean sheet, but then again, neither do we.
No. Do you think the guys are holding out for a pizza again?
I think first goal could be key tomorrow. With two teams that concede goals, I think first goal could be key. If we can get that goal, it sets us up nicely to just counter on them at will.
I could be wrong here, but was the Man United game the first time this season we've actually come back and won from? Well, we've only won 3 games, haven't we? But we've come back from being a goal down.
I'm not sure, and I don't care. It was Man U, and I'll cling on to that.
Fair enough.
I'll cling on to it. I felt when they scored their goal that it was against the run of play. So no, I think we stood strong, stayed strong, true to our principles, and I think a big factor again. although I thought he was lucky to get a pick, was Maddison had his best game in longer than I can remember.
Didn't he just?
Playing between the lines, you know, I thought he had a super game, and it's long overdue from him, as it probably is everybody else. And I just hope he can kick on now.
That was the Maddison of old, wasn't it?
Yeah, not seen it for a long while, and only in fits and starts last season with that injury. So I hope that's behind him now and he can concentrate on his football.
Indeed. Terry and David, I'm going to come to your comments in a second when we sort of do talk more about the team. Mr. Numbers and Letters, hi, good evening. I'm not even going to attempt that. How the devil are you, sir? Welcome along. We discussed the table before. I mean, last time out, you know, it was 3-2, so it wasn't, you know, the fact that Spartak nicked a win, you know, it was as in, you know, a 1-0er that, you know, they got 3 past Napoli, which I think, like you said, it maybe shows that Napoli, we're giving them maybe too much credit because of the name and the history. You know, we put 2 past them, Moscow put 2 past them, and as we know in the other game, Warsaw beat us. But looking at the table as it stands, after tomorrow, we're halfway through.
Yeah.
I'm getting a feeling it's a must-win game.
Yeah, I did think that earlier. I think it's long overdue. You know, 3 games into this tournament, you've got to stick a win on there to have any chance, I think, of progressing. And I don't see any reason why we shouldn't win tomorrow. I don't see any reason why we can't get out of that group. We just need some consistency of performance and results, and I think we'll be fine. And I'd just say I hope Saturday was the turning point for us.
Yes, yeah. I think, well, fingers crossed. I hope I mean, if we win, just looking at it there, we go. We will go over Moscow. Whatever happens in the other game, a draw would be good in the other game, I guess.
Yeah,
you know, or even in fairness, a Napoli win wouldn't be the worst result because it would rein Warsaw in.
Back, yeah, that's right.
You know,
lots to play for.
We've got to remember, I think, that the winner of the group goes through to the last 16. Whoever's in second, and this is the problem, then has to play whoever's dropped down from the Champions League.
Yes.
To get into the last 16, you know, which I think is totally and utterly unfair.
Yeah.
And then if we finish third, I believe we drop down into the conference. So
the FA Vars.
Well, you know, I mean, I've got to be honest with you, and I know everybody's sort of knocked the conference, but to me, it's still European football. You know, I mean, I don't agree with it because Man United could have ended up winners of the Europa League by failing drastically in the Champions League, and I think it is wrong. But it's giving what so-called bigger teams, I guess, UEFA looking at it, a second bite at the cherry and keeps them in on the telly for them and what have you.
It's revenue, of course it is.
I am worried that actually topping the group now is beyond us. We've made it really difficult for ourselves. Or do you think we can still top the group?
Well, I think anybody in this group is capable of beating anybody. This is the thing. There's been so many inconsistencies with it. I know, as I say, Sparta went and won in Napoli. I believe Napoli had a man sent off in that game, which no doubt would have contributed to the win or helped, certainly. But as I say, if we put our A game out there, we beat all of these teams based on Saturday's performance. But again, we've not showed up yet. And will we show up? It's a long trek to Russia. I just pray for the 3 points tomorrow, and then suddenly things will start to look a lot better. I'm
dreading. So I've just spilt water everywhere. It's my age, you know. The colostomy bag's overflowed, and I'm being serious. I'm not taking the piss. Hey, here we go. Another one. You blink and you miss them. It's my toilet humour. We've got a few people in the chat going. And that they don't think Leicester's gonna win. Well, you know, we've surprised a few people before with our results, 2015-16 for one. So let's not. Oh, Andy, now come on, you're making me look good. We must go over there and win.
Oh, I'm going to sign off in a minute, you pair.
God almighty. Oh, cannon and ball, mate. And I'm certainly not balls. I think you are. But anyway, let's move on. I mean, anything else you have on Moscow there that you can fill us in on?
Well, as I say, they've got a 45,000 capacity ground, but who knows how many is going to be in there, and that could be a factor, unquestionably. You know, if there's 45,000 in there screaming the place down, then it's a big difference to it being half full or nobody in there at all, apart from our 25 Leicester fans in the corner.
Yes.
They've got a Portuguese manager. I don't think he's overly popular. His appointment certainly wasn't overly popular. Their record is mixed, very much so. They, as I say, have played 11 league games, 5 wins, 4 losses, which shows the inconsistency. Goals for 13, goals against 10. You know, it's comparable. The Europa League form, they've played 2, won 1, lost 1, so mixed again. Lost to Leicester at home. I'm sure that's a game they would have fancied themselves to win. And then perversely went and beat Napoli 3-2 away.
Yes. Yeah.
So it just shows the inconsistencies in the group. They've got a couple of players that we need to keep our eye on. Quincy Promise, who's been around European football quite a while. 29-year-old forward, rejoined them actually in 2021 after first signing for them in 2014. So he's obviously aware of the league. Made his name primarily at Ajax and Sevilla. Overall, he's 17 appearances this season, 5 goals. So bit of a threat. 6 league games, 2 goals so far. So we'd have to keep our eye on him. I recognised the name when I saw it.
Does he play in England at all?
No.
He seems to ring a bell. Has he not? Oh, right.
No, he's not. But he's a Dutch international. So that's probably, you know, the name's been around for quite a while. He's 29 now.
Right.
Here's an interesting one. Jordan Larsson, Henrik's son, plays for them up front.
I read that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Is he as good as his dad, or?
His dad was a hell of a player, wasn't he?
Yes.
He's 24. His record is 22 goals in 64 games. So you could argue 1 every 3. And he was last season's top goal scorer with 15.
Wow.
So one to keep an eye on in a team that has recently been leaking goals.
Yes.
And there's a blast from the past here. Victor Moses plays for them.
Now that I do, yes. Is he still going?
He's still going. He's only 30.
Are they going to get the wheelchair out for them? But then again, he's a spring chicken next to Jamie Vardy.
Absolutely. He signed for them permanently in 2021. Has no goals since signing for them.
Well,
we all know he plays right side. So he could be a threat. We know he's capable of, rampaging down that wing. But I suppose it depends on what formation they play. The coach is known to favour, I believe, a 4-2-3-1. But they have mixed it up in their Europa League games. They have played a 3-5-2 against Napoli, so obviously flooded the midfield. But against Leicester, allegedly played a 3-4-3. So they can mix it up. Brendan likes to change his formations round and mix it up. It seems to be the modern way.
It does make it hard though when you're trying to plan against them, isn't it? Because he said the other day, Brendan, he does change depending who he's playing. And you look at that and thinking, but what are they going to put out?
What's he going to go with? Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
But the key is their centre back is suspended. Max Cofries, I think is how you say it. He's unavailable. Sorry, he was sent off. Apologies, versus Napoli. He was sent off, so misses this game. So that could be a Brucey bonus for us if we can get at them. The danger for them from set pieces is Samuel Guigo, who is a French defender, 6'2". His goal record is 1 in 7, which is quite good for a centre half. So he obviously poses a threat. So we're going to have to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
So he's obviously a presence at both ends of the park. And of course, Russians have to have an obligatory Brazilian in their team, do they not? So they have a left back called Ayrton Lucas, who is 24. That's all I know of him. He's not an international, but they do tend to pluck the Brazilians. The Russians do for some reason.
Yes. I thought when you said that, being a Russian team, you know that they're going to be drugged up, but allegedly, don't let me say, don't let me taint Russian football with
absolutely
Russian athletics or Olympics or track and field and say that they're all drugged up. Far be it from me to say that. Ferocious Flame, are you a Moscow fan? I can't tell from the name. You're not one I've seen on the Leicester chat before. He says Leicester could win, but they won't, and we don't live in the past. No, live in the last game that you lost and our last game that we won, mate. Take it from there.
There you go.
Wolverhampton Wanderers FC, good evening. Leicester will lose 5-0, will we? I think we might be like the 1-0, like we beat you at the first game of the season. Remember that, eh?
Yeah.
Wolves. We talked about Moscow, and you mentioned like a few different formations there. What do you think Leicester are going to put out? What do you think Brendan's going to go for? Does he stick with basically what was it? Well, I always say a 3-5-2, but I think a 3-5-2 is exactly the same as a 5-3-2. It just changes when you're attacking
whether you've got the ball or not, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. Or does he go back to a 4-4-2?
I don't. I kind of like us with this 3-5-2. I think we've got the personnel for it. Worries me if we play 4 and he plays Amati. Amati looks so much more comfortable in a 3.
Yes.
I think that's.
He had a good game, didn't he?
He had a super game, and it did. Yeah. For me, Amati is a confidence player. I've always rated the lad. He's just never managed to achieve a run of games, and when he has done, he gets injured.
Yes.
I remember when he unfortunately broke his leg against West Ham a couple of seasons ago. He was bang in the middle of a great run of form. He was playing ever so well, and then bad injury, put him out for a long while. But I think we've got to go 3-5-2. I really do. And then you can get your Daka and Nacho up top. Yeah. It's a settled formation. The players seem happy with it. And it's quite fluid, the 3-5-2. I think Maddison picks the lines, between the lines, and Samare, what a signing he's been, this lad. I think he can go on and on and on, this boy. He's got it all. He's so strong, such a physical presence in that midfield. I do like him, and I think him and Tielemans have something going there. I mean, it says something to me that we didn't miss Wilfred on Saturday. And I think that's full credit to Samare. Whether he plays him tomorrow, who knows? He might play Hamza. Who knows? It's hard to second guess Brendan.
It is. I mean, Amati, he's still young. He's not, he's
right.
still only mid-20s. And we go on and on and on about Vestergaard. I mean, how high is Vestergaard? Is he 6'2", 6'3"?
No, he's about 6'7", I think.
Is he? Oh, he's taller than I probably thought. Because again, Amati is 6'1", so he's no short arse.
No, absolutely.
Himself.
But the key to that back three is Evans, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yes.
And it's whether he plays or not.
Yeah, 6'6". Sorry, 6'6" is Vestergaard.
Yeah.
Ant, I agree with you. Welcome along. Check out Ant's Leicester fan channel. Another Leicester channel well worth checking out. I think we're going to be cooperating with in a show towards the end of the month. It for me, and I know I'm no manager, but more than being a fan manager, I think we've just got to stick with the same starting 11. I really do.
Yeah. I think it's a must-win game. We've got to go out there with a positive intention, and this chopping and changing, I don't think it does us any favours. I really don't. You're starting from scratch again. The lads must be buzzing from Saturday. They must want to itching to get on the park again. So just let them go. Yeah. Let them go.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew, Jesus Christ, that's a bad joke.
Oh, I've just seen it.
Yeah. Jesus. Sorry, I shouldn't. I shouldn't. That is bad. That is bad in biblical proportions. I'll tell you.
I don't know. I think Evans is the key, isn't he? I think Evans is the key. If he plays free, if he doesn't, it's squeaky bum time. It's such an important player.
It is. I think
Look how much better
if we don't win tomorrow, I think we are definitely off. We're not going to get the top spot. I would go for the 3, get stuck into them from minute 1 and silence their loud fans. My only worry is, because Evans did come off at the end of the game.
Cramp, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So do we... for me, there's an argument that says you've got to get him in there because we just do play so much better with him. With him in the team. But is it a risk playing a game? And it's Wednesday, not Thursday. It's a day earlier than normal. Do we risk him? And I'm not decrying Brentford here. And if there's any Brentford fans watching, I'm going to say. I'm not putting you down. I love what you've done, and you were my favourites to stay up at the 3 that came up. But you've got to say on paper, you would look and think, well, Brentford might be easier than Moscow. So do we start Vestergaard against Moscow and save Evans for Brentford, or do we put Evans on against Moscow because it is almost like a must-win game, and then if he's not fit, we'll put Vestergaard on?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If he doesn't play him and we lose, he's going to get lambasted. And if he starts him and he comes off injured, he's going to get lambasted.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally,
he'd be a football manager.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Personally, I'll go with him. You can only play what's in front of you. If he's fit, play him.
Yeah. And if Ant says there he can only play once a week, Evans, he wouldn't risk him. But Yeti Boy, he would agree with Ant and bring Daka and Vestergaard instead of Evans and Vardy, which is a fair shout. I would only change Vardy with Daka to give him a rest, so Vardy is fully available for Brentford. And David, I agree with Ant and also Chris. Leave Evans for Premier League game versus Brentford. I mean, it is.
Who knows?
It's such a difficult choice, isn't it?
It wouldn't surprise me if we went 4-4-2 and played Barnes and Lookman.
Well, that was a question that came up, and I didn't bring it up. I was saving it for later. Is with the when you look at the game on Saturday, how can that played so well without Barnes and Lookman? Not even coming on as subs.
Yeah.
But we do know they are 2 fantastic players. So do you bring them in because they didn't play and therefore they will be fitter? Because at the end of the day, that's why we've got the squad that we now have, because we have got all these extra games. So you've got to play them. Yeah,
it'll be a real interesting team selection tomorrow. Absolutely. And I, for one, am struggling to second guess what Brendan will do. But I will bow to his greater knowledge, and
yes,
he's with the players every day with the physios and all the rest of it. I'm sure he wants to win tomorrow. I think he knows he's got to win tomorrow if they want to progress in the competition. And I think the team selection will be an indication of whether he's prepared to lose or he really wants to go for the win.
Yeah, you get nothing if you just go out and play for a 0-0, do you? You've got to go for it and get the 2 goals up, and then hopefully not do a Napoli. Kyle, hi Kyle, thanks for joining us. How the devil are you? I'm just glad I'm not a manager at times like this, but I have a feeling that my disappointment was, and I get why, but there was no Mendy. Although is Mendy in the European squad? Or
I don't think he is he? I don't think he's in at all. I watched him against went to the under-23s about 3 weeks ago. Played at the KP. And he was bloody awful.
Was he?
Yeah, he was subbed. Now I don't know whether he was coming back from injury. I think maybe he was coming back from injury, so the game was a bit too quick for him. I think it was Man Utd. But I do know that he was taken off No, sorry, it was Leeds. It was Leeds.
Right. I mean,
Under
all I
23s.
can say for me is I know at the start of last season when we didn't have Ndidi that he filled in very
Absolutely. Yeah, did a
competitive.
sterling job.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was like a new signing. And Chowdhury, we know he's petulant. We know he likes to party when he's not supposed to. Yeah. And we also know, like you say, he's got a red card in him. But he can have some good games. And I think sometimes, when with that sort of player, when you don't necessarily notice them is when they're having a good game. Yeah. I just have a feeling, and I want Samari to start. I mean, I think he should, because these players, a lot of them, should be able to play a couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a week. But at least I'd like to see him start, because I do think he's got that experience. And let's be honest with you, we are now playing in Europe. And yes, I know, there's one or two players in there that have got European experience, but you've got Daka and you've got Samari, who spent their career in European leagues that probably know it, in fairness, a little bit better than maybe the Dewsbury Halls, the Chowdhurys, etc. Yeah,
no, I think that's a fair comment. I really do. I've got a funny feeling he'll play Barnes tomorrow, whether that's whether that's up top or out, I don't know. But I think the performance on Saturday has put a marker down to these lads that are not in the side, that you've got to show up when selected. And Barnes has been a bit, I'm a big Barnes fan, but he's been a bit wishy-washy this season. And I know he's coming back from injury and all the rest of it, a bit in and out, but that's the marker there now. Saturday was the marker. You want to place in that side, you've got to turn up.
And I think had let's say we beaten Norwich on Saturday and not Man United, I don't think it's awful to say this, and no disrespect to Norwich, but I think the fact that they played like they did against Man United, as bad as maybe Man United were, then that's put more of a marker down than if we played a Norwich or a Newcastle or somebody like that.
Yeah, I agree. No, entirely. It's you've not just beaten, you've beaten world-class players. Let's face it, Man U have got, they would certainly say world-class players in every position. Yeah. Some may beg to differ in some positions. But it's a wealthy club. It's a big club, there's no doubt. And to beat them 4-2, not just beat them 4-2, it's the manner of the performance. We put a marker down there. And now we've got to live up to that hype we've created for ourselves almost, haven't we? We've got to deliver.
Exactly.
Put the pressure on ourselves. We've got to cope with
Apparently, I'm just seeing breaking news. Again, unfortunately, bad news, but Evans is injured.
Is he?
Apparently, he's damaged his hip because he'd got Ronaldo in his pocket all game, and it's weighted him down. Fun bum, thank you. Here all night.
Dear God. There's no hope for you.
You don't come on often, and when you do, you regret it.
Oh. Yeah, see you in another couple of months after the therapy.
Yes. And it says here, beating I think it could be. I mean, I think, and we know as football fans, you always have these false dawns, but I do honestly think that could be the line in the sand, the turning point at the start of the season, whatever you want to call it. I hope it is anyway. Yeah,
there's no reason why it couldn't be. There's no reason why it shouldn't be either.
No.
We should be full of it. Absolutely full of it going across there tomorrow.
Yeah. The people do say I'm full of something, but I don't know exactly.
No, we did that one earlier.
we did indeed. Yes. But apparently you do have to be careful with diarrhea because it is hereditary.
Oh.
Yeah, it runs in your genes.
Boom.
It runs in your genes. Yeah, okay. Right, sir. Thank you so much for tonight.
Welcome.
Score predictions. I mean, there's been a lot going up, but I think they were from Moscow and Wolves fans, so you can't really take any credence by then.
I think there'll be a goal in it, 1-0 or 2-1.
Yeah. I have a feeling that if he doesn't start Evans, even if he does start Evans, I think we just can't keep a clean sheet at the moment. So I think Terry says that Evans joke has just been voted joke of the season. Yeah, thank you, Terry. You see, I have a fan, And I must admit, that's how I usually stay cool at a football match, by standing next to a fan. Yeah. So I think Leicester will concede. I just think we're struggling with the back four we have at the moment and the constant changes to keep a clean sheet. So I think they will score. I'm going to go, like you say, a 2-1, I think. Terry's gone. He got me going.
I'm going.
Good. I'm here to please. Ant's
Go on,
gone
Ant.
3-1.
I like Ant's optimism.
Yeah, he's completely ignored my joke, which is probably the best thing to do. I'm one half of Morecambe and Wise, but unfortunately not the funny half. But whatever, as we all say, it is definitely a must win.
If we can't be confident after what we've done to Man Utd at the weekend, then when can we?
Exactly. That is the point in question. You know, we should be going into this game on a high. You know, with people should be knocking each other out on training to be part of the team.
Part of the 11, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And even those players that, like you said, the Barnes and the Luckmans, they should be looking at it and going, shit. You know what?
That's right.
How are we going to get back into this? You know, but
yeah,
Brendan will earn his money tomorrow night.
Be interesting team selection for sure, and I think that will tell us a lot.
I think we could all be sat here with our head in our hands, unfortunately. But hey, Brendan's done us be like that before, you know.
He has.
It's why he gets paid the big buck. David, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you very much for putting David. What am I saying? That's because I've just had David's
Who's David?
comments up. Yeah, who's David? Half these jokes are going over my head, not because I'm 5'7". Dean, thank you so much for coming
You're
on.
welcome.
Thank you even more for putting up with my bad jokes. Oh. Well, I don't think they're bad, but you know, then again, I wouldn't, would I?
I'm going for a beer now. You've driven me to drink.
I have this effect on people. Don't know why. Dean, mate, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Fingers crossed for tomorrow.
There's a lot of people aren't going to be able to watch it, so try and get some headphones in or something if you can, sir. But thank you very much. Yeah,
you're
fingers
welcome.
Crossed, like you say,
yeah,
and
indeed.
We will speak again when you've had your therapy.
All the best. Take care.
Take care. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. All the best.
Bye. Thanks to Dean there. Louise, hey, how the devil are you? Joining us at the end. Thank you very much. Terry, we're going off for a nap. We're on a night shift tonight with somebody called Julian. We are. I'm back for Julian's my sloppy seconds tonight. Please don't tell him. Don't tell him that, please. But he is my sloppy seconds tonight. And diarrhea, is that Chris Rea, sister? No, I tell you what, Chris Rea did win bottom of the year once. Rea, bottom of yeah, oh no, exactly. Oh no. Where do I get my jokes from? Because whoever it is, burn the book. As Terry did say there, we're going to be back with this, he says, if you can find it, just in a bit. It is 9 o'clock. We will be back. So I've just got time to go off and have my number 2 and get ready with coming back. It's my favourite show of the week. I'm not going to lie. X on the pitch. So clever came up with that one. X on the pitch. Julian Watts, ex-Leicester City defender. We will be looking at things from a professional point of view, which is completely different to how we see things as a fan. 2 topics tonight. Sorry, I'm just reading your joke, Andrew. That's awful. I'm not even going to go there. 2 topics tonight. First of all, Brendan Rodgers coming out and saying, not interested in Newcastle. I'm happy at Leicester. Get on with everybody. We're just in the middle of a plan. It's nice to have a manager come out. It's nice to have your manager come out and say that he wants to stop at the club. So that's the first topic. The second topic, a little game we had at the weekend that we beat Man United 4-2. We'll be talking about that. I think we're going to enjoy that. Why not? We could talk about that probably for the rest of the season, to be honest with you, up there with the 5-3. And of course, the third topic is your questions. Any questions you have for him as a ex-player. Andrew, go on. I will put it up there. I hope we don't freeze on the night. Wah, wah, wah. Guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining in as well. Thanks for putting up with my jokes. If you want to listen to this back, it's on YouTube channel, Leicester Till I Die TV. Please get over there and press the subscribe button. It really, really does help us. And like the video, smash the likes. You don't think that does much, but it does actually help the channel as well. So the likes button on YouTube. If you want to listen to us, rather than watch our gorgeous faces, then please again do that. Podcast, we're on all the main podcasts. We are on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple iTunes, Google, Anchor, and Podcast Addict, just to name a few. And if you want to use your smart speaker, just ask it to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die, and you have to say the podcast to bring it up. Don't forget, coming up soon, we've got a new quiz. Yes, we have. That might be a clue, or it might not be. Are you watching it? But there's a new quiz coming really soon to Leicester Till I Die. More about that as we get closer. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in 53 minutes. Take care. Stay safe. Good night now.
That's all, folks.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all them social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.